Does the Constitution of the United States, a document penned over 2 centuries ago, still hold true to its original meaning? Or has its interpretation evolved with the changing times? Well, the answer to that lies in the method of interpretation applied, one of which is textualism. Textualism is a philosophy that interprets the Constitution based on the plain meaning of the words used at the time it was written. It's an approach that prioritizes the text and its ordinary, commonly accepted meanings, and it argues against introducing personal beliefs or political ideologies into the interpretation. Instead, it suggests that the text itself should guide our understanding. Textualists believe that the framers of the Constitution used language deliberately. They argue that the text of the Constitution is the best and most authoritative guide to understanding its meaning. A practical application of textualism can be seen in the landmark case of District of Columbia v. Heller in 2008. In this case, the U.S. Supreme Court had to interpret the Second Amendment, which states, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." The crux of the debate was whether the right to bear arms was an individual right or a collective right tied to service in a militia. By adopting a textualist approach, the court focused on the phrase, "the right of the people to keep and bear arms," and ruled that the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to possess a firearm, unconnected with service in a militia. This case is a clear example of how textualism can shape the interpretation of the Constitution. It shows that the primary concern of textualism is the actual words used in the document and their ordinary, commonly accepted meanings at the time of enactment. To summarize, textualism is a method of interpretation that focuses on the plain meaning of the words in the Constitution. It asserts that the framers used language deliberately, and that the meaning of the Constitution should be based on the text itself, without considering the framers' intentions or the broader societal context. In the case of District of Columbia versus Heller, the Supreme Court adopted a textualist approach in interpreting the Second Amendment. This decision underscores how textualism can deeply influence the interpretation of the Constitution, emphasizing the importance of the text over any external factors. The Constitution is a living document open to interpretation, and the method of interpretation used can greatly shape our understanding of its meaning, just as it did in District of Columbia versus Heller. Understanding these methods, like textualism, is key to understanding the Constitution itself.